I'd also like to remind you that when we had bad times here, the club stood by me, all my staff stood by me, the players stood by me. Your job now is to stand by our new manager. That is important.
I think that we have made massive progress in many elements of football. But if you want to be good, then for now good is not good enough. And there are so many elements what we have to improve. I can number 10 elements what we have to improve if we want to be successful and if we want to go for trophies. And that is the ambitions we have, so we have to invest much more.
Manchester United's season so far, there's been ups, there's been plenty of ups, there's been downs. And I want to do this video to make sure that we don't lose focus of the real progress that we have been making this year in the middle of this Ronaldo storm that is now developing following that interview with Piers Morgan. Because we should be here talking purely about the birth of another looking like a genuine superstar, Alejandro Garnacho, and the beginnings of this, not the beginnings of it, there's the progression of this United team. But instead we're distracted by the front page of The Sun and Piers Morgan and Ronaldo with the most self-serving interview that it feels that timing-wise with Piers Morgan. I've already ran through that in a lot of detail and kind of in enough detail already. And it's just taking away the focus from where it should be at Manchester United, because it doesn't deserve to be on Cristiano Ronaldo anymore. And he says that Manchester United fans are on his side. Now that was the case for a long, long time, Cristiano. But you, sir, have made your bed there. You've called out the manager. You've called out everything. You said the club's betrayed you. Well, I think you betrayed the club there. You certainly betrayed a lot of fans who have supported you throughout this whole process. And you definitely betrayed Erik Ten Hag, the manager who is, in my opinion, taken this club in a new direction. Finally, we're nowhere near the end of that process. And this is not me saying that. This is me trying to use this platform to say, look, support Ten Hag in what he's doing and believe in it, because it feels like we're heading in the right direction. And I've supported Ten Hag throughout this whole Ronaldo process, if I'm honest. From the beginnings of, we didn't know, and we still don't really know the full story about why Ronaldo wasn't there in pre-season. Piers Morgan was saying that it was because his three-month-old daughter was hospitalised, and I hope she's okay, like I reiterated last night. And I'm sure more details will come out when the full interview comes out on Wednesday or Thursday. But after that, in the way that Ten Hag managed Ronaldo, and then obviously the situation happened against Spurs where he refused to come on, he was correct to drop him. He fined him 1 or 2 weeks' wages. Then he brought him back in, started him in 4 consecutive games, and even gave him the armband against Villa. And how does he repay him? By doing this interview with Piers Morgan. You want to talk about betrayal, Ronaldo? Right there. There and then. And this man, look, we're far from the finished product. We're still nowhere near the likes of City, who City are wobbling this year. Liverpool are wobbling this year. The Premier League has opened up again this year after a tight grip that City and Liverpool had for the last few years and how painful it's been. And Erik Ten Hag is helping make that happen. And I think from the very, very beginnings, I've been following, I mean, you know how excited I was that Ten Hag came in, and I've seen nothing really so far this season to take away from that excitement. I think as a disciplinarian, I think he's being extremely fair. Garnacho, we're seeing the breakthrough of Garnacho right now, but Garnacho's had to wait for his chance because his attitude wasn't spot on. Ronaldo was dropped from the team. McTominay's been dropped from the team. Sancho's been dropped. Rashford's been dropped. Maguire's been dropped. Lindelof's been dropped. Every single player, doesn't matter who you are, an 18-year-old like Garnacho, who's just breaking through, or a 37-year-old multiple Ballon d'Or and Champions League winner in Ronaldo, you will get the same treatment if your attitude is not correct. And he's been so firm and fair and clear throughout this whole process And I think that's a big reason as to why it's been a success for Ten Hag so far. And I tell you what, last season, there really weren't many memories that you could take away from it that you're going to hold on to as a United fan. Now, I'm not saying that they're in the grand scheme of Ten Hag's tenure, this season might not have too many memories that we hold on to. But I tell you what, there's just a bit of a reconnection between the club and the fans, and actually watching these players play for United. That game against Liverpool, off the back of the Brentford defeat, that was the first time we looked and we said, you know what, that's really impressive from Ten Hag. To get that sort of response from these players within the space of a week is really, really impressive. And then there's been other results as well. The Arsenal game, when they came undefeated in the league and we outsmarted them, outplayed them, and we outdid them 3-1 at Old Trafford. And that performance there against Spurs, which I still think is going to be held up as the blueprint for where Ten Hag wants to take this team, where I think we can get towards and where ultimately where we want to be. That sort of dominating, high pressing, high tempo and clinical team that we were against Spurs. That's the hallmark. And then you've got other moments. That Casemiro celebration. And then it's about the connection that we're starting to build with these players again. Garnacho breaking through. As I've said this so many times on United People's TV. Give me all your big money signings, man. Nothing will beat watching an academy player coming through, breaking into the scene and taking it by storm. And that's what Garnacho's doing right now. And it's wonderful to see. And look, his big brother there in Lisandro Martinez. He's also helping the reconnection. As is Eriksen, as is Malacia, as is all the signings that Ten Hag has brought in. As is Ten Hag himself. And that's why I want to do this video. That's why I wanted to do this video. Because it feels a little bit different at the moment. And it feels like all these speed bumps which we're running into. And look, this is the biggest of explosions, I think, that we could have. Well, it wasn't expected. Ten Hag didn't know it was coming. Manchester United didn't know it was coming. And it's drawn a line in the sand, I think, anyway. I've supported Ten Hag throughout this whole process, and I will continue to do so. But I want to make sure by doing this video, by doing that video I did at the start as well, that fans don't lose track and lose sight of the genuine progress that we've made this year. The fact that we are actually heading in the right direction under Erik Ten Hag. And it's down to the hard work that he is doing. And down to the football that we are starting to play in patches. We're still patchy, massively. And there's work to be done. But there are results that we can get. Beating Liverpool, beating Arsenal, beating Spurs, drawing away at Chelsea. You come and say, oh, Sam, what about the City game? City are on a different level to us at the moment. And also that came after a month break. And the players were switched off. They weren't on that. But to do that against Fulham with a 93rd minute winner from an academy player. And I've said this as well. You can take all your 3, 4, 5 easy 6-0 wins and you can keep them all if you can give me last-minute winners. There is nothing better in football than a last-minute winner. And as United fans, we know that we got the last-minute winner of all last-minute winners in the Champions League final back in '99. That's ultimately where we want to get back towards, the Champions League, winning the Champions League. And yeah, we're a long way off. We're still, in my opinion, certainly competing in the European football. Well, a couple of years, that's what it feels like. But we are finally, in my opinion, headed in the right direction. And it doesn't matter what we're seeing here with this Ronaldo situation, with that interview with Piers Morgan. Don't let it detract away from the good work I believe that Erik Ten Hag has done so far. The fact that you're starting to see and have a bit of a connection with the players that are breaking through with this. It feels like a different energy flowing through this United team. And I tell you what, and I've got a man crush on Martinez, but it's absolutely deserved because the butcher of Manchester, indeed, he is making such a difference, as is every single one of these players fighting for Ten Hag and fighting for this United shirt. And this man, he's going to play no part of it anymore. But do not let it take away from the fact that we have progressed so much in this effectively first half of the season. I was going to do a bit of a half-season review, but I suppose that's what this video is now. After the reaction to that Ronaldo story is sort of taken over, I suppose. Do not lose focus on Erik Ten Hag. Do not lose focus on the fact that we have made real progress. There's more progress to be made. But he is the right man. And I just pledge. I've just asked for everybody to support him. Because he is the best manager we've had post-Fergie. And that's not an exaggeration. And finally, we're heading in the right direction. There's going to be more speed bumps. We've had Brentford, Brighton, Real Sociedad. We've had City. We've had Villa. And now the Ronaldo speed bumps come out. How many more will there be this season? I don't know. But with this man in charge, I've got a bit of belief that no matter how many times something tries to derail the train, we're not going to be derailed. We're still going to have momentum in the right direction. It might slow us down a little bit, but still under Ten Hag, we're going to continue heading in the right direction. And it's a long time since I've been able to say that as a United fan. You can let me know what you think in the comments below, but I just wanted to do this video.